there are more people starting up now. So thank you, Richard, for the introduction. So I'll spend 30 minutes on our fund before I move into our AI investment thesis. So again, Sinovation is headquartered in Beijing. We have office in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Bay Area, focused on China and US investment. Our total asset under management is $1.7 billion US dollars. Over 9 years, we've helped invest in about 300 portfolio companies and built a dozen unicorns so far. So we are quite happy about where we are. So today, we are going to talk about AI investment. So I suppose a lot of you are building companies. Some may be related to AI robotics. And I will just take 13 minutes to summarize a pretty complicated and extensive thesis that we have toward AI investment. So we actually called it 4 waves of artificial intelligence. In these 4 waves, I will actually explain in a little bit more detail. So the first way, we called it Internet AI. We are already experiencing it. When you search something, the search engines right now, including my past companies, Yahoo and Google, now are all AI-empowered search engine technologies. Business AI is taking data into business operation. In the third wave, perception AI, our AI, artificial intelligence, start to be able to see and hear, building perception around our world. And the fourth wave is what we call the automation AI. So I would actually just give a very quick highlight on the first wave, Internet AI, since we are all living in it right now. No matter it's taking a selfie, making yourself more beautiful, putting on ears, eyebrows, funny stuff, is actually based on very precise facial recognition. Just think about if they put one eyebrow in the wrong place, how funny would that be? Search engine, I mentioned, when you go to an e-commerce website, the product recommendation is largely empowered by AI. In China, we have a news aggregator called Toutiao. It's pretty much AI-empowered news feed for everyone. So I don't need to explain a lot about it, but Internet itself, by nature, is generating data every day. And especially when we focus 92% of our investment in China, the mobile Internet has taken China apart. The robust mobile behavior in China is generating gigantic data that's happening every day. We invest in Mobike. Just Mobike alone, every day is generating 20 TB of data per day. And data feeds into AI. More data makes better products and better user experience. And the second wave, business AI, this is an interesting area where enterprises and business are starting to realize how AI can help their business in terms of increasing efficiency, reducing cost, creating new business opportunities, and also kind of reinvent their business processes. We feel that this area is actually a sweet spot for AI. For consumer, the AI will take longer. It's not just about how and when the technology will be mature, but it's about whether people, families, households are comfortable about AI and robotics. But we feel AI for enterprises is actually one very key thesis that we focus on our investment. However, to build successful AI for business companies, you need a combination of very seasoned technology team, but you also need very seasoned business team. So the best combination of such portfolio are a combination of top science and engineers with top salespeople and businessmen. So we do see examples of some seasoned management background people from SAP, Microsoft Business, IBM, etc., starting to move into this area, because usually the startup founders that focus on technology may not have the necessary business understanding, may not really know how those enterprises make decisions. So the marriage between the two are usually the ideal portfolio combination that we look for. And just some example, give you one example about a portfolio that we work with called 追忆科技. It's a Shenzhen-based company working on a chatbot for customer service. So currently, they are serving big clients such as China Mobile, the largest mobile operator in the world, Merchant Bank, one of the biggest commercial bank in China, Didi, Ctrip, the biggest travel operator, etc. So essentially, they are automating the customer experience. Some of you may have that experience already, like doing customer service with a chatbot. When it's not really working or not solving your problem, then it turns to the human customer care. So that's exactly their core business model. But in the future, it's going to actually transform into machine-based enterprise and customer interface portal. So that's the sort of company that we look for, with very strong engineering, technical, and science background, and also with very good go-to-market, especially for the enterprise market. And the third wave, perception AI. This is what we also call digitalizing the real world. Actually, with more higher penetration of sensors in our physical world, I believe when you walk into this conference, this exhibition, you've probably noticed there are cameras and there are actually technology that's being installed to track the traffic within the conference. Just think about, when we actually move in the real world, a lot of time in places that sort of movement is not captured. I gave up driving when I moved back to Beijing 2 years ago, and suddenly realized when I travel within the city, sometimes I do mobike, I ride bicycles when it's short term. Sometimes I take subway, and a lot of times I take Didi. However, when you think about that, the way where I go to in the city every day is all captured in data. Where I shop and how I move around, what I prefer when I shop, and now I even order haircut to home. It's all captured by data. When business owners actually have more access to data, especially in the real world, we feel the trend of online merge with offline, OMO, is happening. So actually, the penetration of that merge between online and offline world will drive down the cost of sensors and also cameras. That would allow us to actually have a database mapping of the real world interaction. And I would say for a lot of entrepreneurs and data scientists, this is probably dreams come true. So one example I would talk about in the third wave of AI, perception AI, is a company called Megvii Face++. One of our very proud portfolio now valued at about 3 billion. And when we invested in the company, that was 6 years ago, the founder was 24 years old, fresh grad out of Tsinghua. So this is a top team in China with the best image recognition technology. So they've won the image recognition awards globally, beating Microsoft, Google, CMU, Facebook, etc. And their core product is actually face recognition. For example, a lot of payment authentication right now in China use their backbone as service. And when I walk into my office every day, I don't need to use a card or anything to open the door. I just walk through because it recognizes my face. And their most recent new project is actually working with the retail segment in China, building autonomous stores. When you walk into, some of you may have seen the Amazon Go video. So in the US, it stays as a concept. I think they just finally launched the first Amazon Go store. But now there are already a dozen of such stores happening in different cities in China. Autonomous store, when you go into the store knows who you are, what products you prefer. When you walk out, you just do probably just one scan on your phone, and you can go with the product you selected. So that's actually the combination of mobile internet with data, as well as knowing where you are in the physical environment under your privacy permission, is actually going to drive up the third wave. And so for this specific third wave, I think we prefer teams that also not only have AI and algorithm software-based technology, but also really knows how to interact with the real world. So the capability of integrating some hardware, especially the sensing-related technology that enables machine to see, to hear, and to analyze is critically important for such teams. And the fourth wave, what we call the automation AI. So it's the age of full automation. So you're already seeing a lot of that. For example, right now, Foxconn actually runs factory in dark. Things can operate actually with full automation without human intervention. And for autonomous driving is also one of our big belief in the future. We are actually ranked as global #3 autonomous driving vehicle investor and investing most of the top portfolios from China. So actually, we feel that autonomous driving will become the next operating system in 5 to 10 years. And it will also kind of propel the repository growth in terms of robotic manufacturing, chips, high resolution maps, as well as all sort of control system and the mechanics around building future cars. So that's also something we are very excited about. And right now in the US, we also have some very interesting robotic company, including actually a company that work on cherry picking robotics. One company, Dishcraft, work on commercial level restaurant use dishwashing robotics. Who doesn't want a dishwashing robotic at your home? We also invest in educational robotics that teach kids about how the objects interact with each other and learn the basic concepts of coding. So we feel that the full automation would really involve including the hardware, including top scientists, including the latest chip technology, and that's actually the framework that we invest. So again, we invest in many top autonomous driving companies. We definitely look into the chips area, especially in terms of vertical application chips versus the generic, and also robotics with very specific application and very specifically commercial use. Again, throughout the 4 waves, you would say that I didn't really mention about consumer AI. So our umbrella thesis is AI will happen faster, quicker, and more commercially for enterprises. And with that, we are also watching the trend of the world and feeling that the 2 biggest markets, US, China, are going to form the AI superpowers going forward. So if you have time, check out AISuperpowers.com. As Richard mentioned in the opening, our fund was funded by Dr. Kai-Fu Lee. That's his new book coming out in the fall. He was actually, aside from working at Microsoft and Google, he was actually the world's top voice recognition scientist back 30 to 33 years ago and invented some breakthrough technology. So actually, we have kind of a score chart to share. This is pretty much based on our analysis and prediction that right now, the US and China are pretty much, I would say, on the internet AI is pretty much on par. On business AI, US is leading far ahead, since US business are conventionally more technology-driven and more open more adopted with enterprise software. Perception AI, China is already catching up and even supersede that of China with the use of different sensing technology in cities. And also in automation AI, we feel that US is leading right now, but the 2 countries will be actually kind of side by side in the future. So that's our prediction for 4 waves of AI going forward. Thank you.